Consistency has always been my Achilles heel, even for the things I enjoy. I will get completely obsessed with something for a while, and then I will lose interest, get obsessed with the next thing, and forget the first thing existed. And that is a cycle I've been repeating for my entire life, pretty much. And it's usually not a recipe for success. The trick, I think, is to have things progress and do well, even when I'm not focused on them. So one of the bigger goals for this hydroponic wall was to build a system that would keep growing and progressing even when I was neglecting it. And that is what has been happening for about the past month. I haven't been out here checking on anything. I haven't checked the water or the plants or the seedlings, nothing. But in that time, everything has done very well. The strawberries have started flowering, the lettuces are growing well, the peas are starting to trellis and grow up, the rocket is growing. Everything is putting on good growth despite my neglect. But I am now cycling back again through another obsession window. So today I'm going to be checking on how things are going, showing you guys how things have progressed, as well as doing a couple of maintenance things and a few upgrades as well. As you can see, everything started to get a little bit overgrown, especially the strawberries, which are these top two rows, and they're growing down, in some cases quite a lot down. And we've got our first few strawberry flowers coming through. Another one back here. The lettuces have, I guess, started exploding. They've started growing really well. The growth on this row down here isn't as good, but this all went in much later than the top rows. The capsicums are getting hidden behind the strawberries. And my honey snap peas, these ones, have started, which I put in, I think 3 weeks ago or 2 weeks ago, and they were only about this big. And they've now started growing up and trellising, which is what I was planning or hoping would happen. Got another lettuce hiding back here that's getting overgrown by all the strawberries. Part of my job today is going to be to use these clips I've printed, trellising clips. I've got a couple of them on already, just for the peas. The plan for these was that they just clip onto the lattice the same way that the pots do. But I can also use them to kind of guide things up, so the clip runs this way. Or I can turn the clip around and say clip it onto a vertical section and hold things up. Apart from the ironing board you can see, when I walk into my garage sometimes I get a little bit blinded by these lights. So I got these Mylar blankets off Amazon, try and solve a couple of problems with one addition, one upgrade. And the idea is to wrap the outside of this bay in the Mylar blankets. They're only about $2 each. And I think I'll use probably 3 blankets per bay. So for a couple of dollars, I can add a reflective material to the back of the bay to try and bounce a lot more light in, because especially as the plants get bigger and they start obstructing each other here and there, the more light I can get from different directions should help with growth considerably. And it will also block off the lights so I don't blind myself when I'm walking around the garage. It has been a total of 2.5 months since the top 2 rows of strawberries got put in. And in that time, I haven't added to the water or checked on the water in any way. So I will be topping that up as well today with some more nutrient solution. Because I'm using rainwater, I haven't, at least so far, I haven't needed to worry about pH balancing or like EC levels or anything fancy like that. It's just rainwater, the nutrient powder that gets mixed in with it, and when it slowly drains over time, I just top it back up. All right, so I've got all my clips. My first goal is going to be to get a lot of these kind of runners out of the way, try and trellis them down, clip them back so that the light can get to the plants that these are overgrowing. Get a couple of these and try and get, let's say, these big ones out of the way. Just gonna try and, like, if I clip these like here, let's say, so they don't grow over the rocket, but kind of like alongside it. And then I can just do something like this. Clip that on, that in there. Okay. Don't really mind if these grow out the side a little bit. It's okay. They're not going to get a whole lot of light, but that's fine. I don't mind where these runners go. I just don't want them to block off my lettuce. I probably should have done this when they were in a much more manageable state, rather than waiting for them to get this long. I thought 20 clips might be enough, but maybe not. I didn't even know, but there's actually another lettuce hiding back there, and another one back there. All right, I think we are mostly contained. All I've really done is try and get the main runners to run down the lattice with the clips so that the light can reach my lettuces and these cucumbers, sorry, these capsicums that have been deprived of light and not doing that well at the moment. But hopefully with this cleared back, they'll have a better chance. The honey snap peas have actually done a good job of trellising themselves. They don't do a good job at the start. So like this first clip to just hold them up was really all they've needed. And now that they're up, these little spindly things are finding the lattice and climbing themselves pretty well. At the moment, because the lights are, well, here really, and one here, everything's trying to grow like in. And I'm interested to see, once I add the mylar blanket to reflect a lot of the light back, I'm wondering if the increased light levels overall and also light coming from more directions will make the plants grow a bit more evenly. Time will tell. A couple of days ago when I noticed these first few flowers appearing on the strawberries, I was very excited because we've just gone through winter here. So all of this, lettuces, strawberries, rocket, capsicum, basil, spinach in there somewhere as well, I think, peas. This is all grown through the middle of Australian winter. It's been cold and wet and raining and overcast here for weeks. And having these little flowers pop up has been very exciting. All right, they're pretty big. Might even be able to do 2 sheets. It's going to be a bit of a nightmare to put it on now because I don't have good access to the back, and the tote at the bottom is full of water, so it probably weighs about 70 kilos. But when I make the next bay, I will be putting this on straight away. This is going to be a nightmare. I think my best bet is going to be to just try and drag the tote out a little bit so I can get behind. All right, that actually moved a lot easier than I thought it would. On the next bay I will be able to set it up properly so that it's neatly and cleanly kind of stretched across the entire back surface of the bay. But for this one, it's just going to be whatever I can manage without moving it or rearranging hoses and everything. That'll be for next time. All right, it all goes back against the wall. And then the reservoir goes back. And then the lights go back. It does look a little bit messy because the reflecting surface, I guess, isn't like neat or clean or straight or flat. But for now, I think that'll do. Up next will be pollinating some of these flowers. or perhaps setting up a fan to get some airflow circulating in the bay so that they'll hopefully self-pollinate. But I might just do a couple as well. I've seen once the flowers get to a decent size, just an old electric toothbrush gently on the back of the flower, the vibration will send out the little pollen spores everywhere. I also have a couple more things to add to the system. This whole hydroponic wall is, I think, 35 pots. There are 3 at the bottom there that I'm waiting on seedlings to get large enough to put into the system. And out of the, I guess, 32 other pots, everything has grown well except the capsicums, which were getting their light blocked by the strawberries, overgrowing them, so they haven't done too well. They're also the most recent additions to the bay. And this was probably the weakest of the seeds I put in. Actually, this whole batch of, I believe this is spinach. I had 3 spinaches go in, and out of all of the 3, this was the weakest of the seeds. And this is also the one that's failed entirely. But it's the only one. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Follow along if you want to see progress or ask any questions you have in the comments, and I'll answer what I can. See you in the next one.